Breaking. Worrying update on Liv Morgan Stalker. In recent days, a worrying development has emerged in the ongoing case involving WWE superstar Liv Morgan and her alleged stalker, Sean Chan. What began as a disturbing incident earlier this year has now escalated to a crucial turning point in the legal process, with Chan's legal team filing a motion requesting bail until his trial. If granted, the Canadian national could be released from jail, where he's been held since June, raising deep concerns about both Morgan's safety and broader issues of community protection. The case has attracted significant attention, not just because it involved a well-known WWE personality, but also due to the unsettling details of the alleged conduct. According to official reports, Chan allegedly traveled from Canada to the United States and made his way to Morgan's property, where he loitered and acted in a manner that authorities described as threatening and deeply concerning. This action ultimately led to his arrest and the filing of federal charges, including one count of interstate domestic violence, a serious offense that underscores the gravity of the allegations. Since his arrest, Chan has been behind bars, awaiting the next stages of his case. Now, however, his legal team is pressing the court to release him on bond, claiming that arrangements have been made for him to stay at a local Salvation Army facility while awaiting trial. They argue that this provides him with a stable place to live and would satisfy any conditions set by the court. A hearing has been scheduled for Tuesday, September 16th at 11 a.m. in Tampa, where the judge will hear arguments for and against the motion. The filing of this motion has reignited public concern, particularly given the nature of the allegations and the potential risk of further harassment or harm to Morgan if Chan were to be released. Prosecutors have been quick and firm in their response, urging the court to deny bail and keep Chan detained until trial. Their argument rests on two central points: that he poses a clear danger to the community and that he is a serious flight risk. In their filing, prosecutors stated unequivocally, the defendant, Sean Chan, is a danger to the community, a serious risk of flight, and there are no conditions of release that will reasonably assure Chan's appearance at further proceedings of this case. The United States requests that Chan remain detained pending trial. This direct and forceful statement highlights the seriousness with which federal authorities are treating the situation, reflecting the high stakes involved for both Morgan and the community at large. One of the key concerns raised by prosecutors is the possibility that Chan could attempt to return to Liv Morgan's property if released. Given the allegations that he had already crossed international borders to make his way to her home once before, the risk of him repeating such behavior is seen as both realistic and highly concerning. This raises not only questions of Morgan's personal safety, but also the broader responsibility of the court to protect victims from further harassment or intimidation during ongoing legal proceedings. The issue of flight risk is another critical factor in the prosecution's argument. As a Canadian citizen, Chan has ties outside the United States, which could make it easier for him to leave the jurisdiction and avoid facing trial. While his defense team's proposed arrangement at the Salvation Army may appear to provide stability, prosecutors argue that this is insufficient to mitigate the significant risk of flight. They contend that no bond conditions, whether tied to residence monitoring or otherwise, could guarantee Chan's compliance or his presence at future court hearings. For Liv Morgan, whose real name is Gianna Daddio, this legal battle is not just about the courtroom, but about her ability to feel safe in her own home and continue her career without the shadow of fear. As one of WWE's most popular stars, Morgan has built a strong connection with fans, known for her resilience, energy, and ability to overcome setbacks in her career. Yet the intrusion of such a frightening personal ordeal into her life serves as a stark reminder of the risks that public figures can face due to their visibility. The support from her fans has been strong, but the legal uncertainty adds an ongoing layer of anxiety for both Morgan and her supporters. Cases like this also shed light on the broader issue of stalking and harassment faced by celebrities and public figures. While the fame and visibility of individuals like Morgan can bring great opportunities, it also makes them vulnerable to unwanted attention, some of which can escalate into dangerous situations. Legal systems are often tasked with balancing the rights of the accused with the need to protect victims, and situations like these highlight the challenges of that balance. The motion for bail underscores the difficult decisions courts must make in determining whether an individual poses too great a risk to be released. The timeline of events also plays a significant role in understanding why this case has drawn such serious attention. Since his June arrest, Chan has remained in custody, indicating that from the outset, authorities viewed him as a significant enough risk to deny earlier release. The request for bail now represents a turning point, as the court must reassess the circumstances in light of the arguments presented by both sides. The hearing scheduled for September 16th will therefore be a pivotal moment, with a decision potentially impacting not only Chan's immediate future, but also the sense of security for Liv Morgan and those close to her. Beyond the legal arguments, the human impact of this case cannot be overlooked. For Morgan, the knowledge that someone allegedly targeted her home and traveled across borders to do so is deeply unsettling. The fear that such behavior could be repeated if her alleged stalker were to be released is a heavy burden to carry, especially while continuing to perform at the highest levels of professional wrestling. The WWE schedule is notoriously grueling, and to maintain her career while also dealing with such personal stress is a challenge that few could fully appreciate. From a community perspective, the case raises broader concerns about how legal systems can effectively protect victims from harassment while ensuring fair trials for defendants. The prosecutor's position that no conditions of release could adequately safeguard the community speaks volumes about the level of concern they have for public safety in this particular case. Their arguments reflect not only the facts of the situation, but also the broader principles of prevention and protection that underpin criminal justice systems. As the hearing date approaches, the attention on this case is likely to intensify. Fans of Morgan, as well as the WWE community at large, will be watching closely to see how the court responds. The decision will carry weight far beyond the immediate parties involved, as it will serve as a signal of how the justice system balances individual rights with the need to protect potential victims. Regardless of the outcome, the case of Liv Morgan and Sean Chan highlights the serious nature of stalking and the importance of legal measures to protect individuals from harm. For Morgan, the hope will be that the court recognizes the risks involved and takes action to ensure her continued safety. For prosecutors, the goal is clear. The attention on this case is likely to intensify. Fans of Morgan, as well as the WWE community at large, will be watching closely to see how the court responds. The decision will carry weight far beyond the immediate parties involved, as it will serve as a signal of how the justice system balances individual rights with the need to protect potential victims. Regardless of the outcome, the case of Liv Morgan and Sean Chan highlights the serious nature of stalking and the importance of legal measures to protect individuals from harm. For Morgan, the hope will be that the court recognizes the risks involved and takes action to ensure her continued safety. For prosecutors, the goal is clear.